What's going on?
Not too much. Enjoying the warm weather in Florida just like you, except on the other coast.
Perfect, man. Perfect.
Yep.
Do you listen on the internet right now?
Yes.
Cool, man. Cool.
No, I enjoy that. That's in your Tiger TV and everything. I've been watching you for years, and you've really taken this whole programming to a level that's just phenomenal.
I appreciate it.
And now, here's Tom O'Brien.
Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 2 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone had a great day, safe day. It's a TGIF Friday, folks. Let's make it a great one. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Ask for what you want. Find the courage to ask for what you want. Others have the right to tell you yes or no, but you always have the right to ask. Likewise, everyone has the right to ask you for what they want, and you have the right to say yes or no. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow up 267, NASDAQ up 38, S&P's up 22, gold contract up $27, trading at $1,640 an ounce. Silver up 98 cents at $31.26 an ounce. Platinum up $17 at $1,512 an ounce. Copper up 20 pennies, big move there at $3.25 a pound. Light sweet crude flat at $85.30. Bonds down 24 ticks, trading out at 138.08. King dollar got smacked around today, down 76 cents at 76.47. Euro up 11 at 138.96, and the yen down 70 at 76.10. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Well, I know what's going on in your world. In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. What do you have? You are over the consolidation, folks. That consolidation, we are at 1238.25. That got over the September 31st, August 31st, September level. Bottom line, we had a volume of $970 million. You're going against $1.2 billion, but that does put in play the lows of the higher consolidation, which is another 20 S&P points up, which is that 1258 level. Now, when you take this context, what you are going into, and this is, well, okay, so that's the S&P. We go to the Dow Industrials. We take a look at the Dow. Dow Industrials, same setup. Dow goes up 267 points. We are at 11,808. That takes all those highs out. You're coming into the downdraft that is out there from the 4th, but that puts in play the Dow Industrials 11,862 is in play. NASDAQ Composite. We go over to the Composite. Composite has not done that. What the Composite has done is that we're up 38 bucks today. The high in that Composite out there, well, you have 2 separate price points. The first price point is the September high. That September high is 26.43. Now, we got to 26.46 today. Couldn't stay there. Closed underneath it. That's a failure in itself. But the NASDAQ itself, the actual high in the NASDAQ was about a week ago, and that high was 26.67. That's where we had the failure. NASDAQ did 1.8 billion. That's going against 4 billion. No juice there. Small caps. You do the small caps, same type of setup. Small caps, Russell 2000. This is what you have with the Russell 2000. Russell 2000, the high out there in the Russell 2000, if we use the IWM, is 73.89. You're at 71.13. If we actually go to the, let me go to the indice right now. We take a look at the indice. Excuse me, in the Russell, we're at 712. The high inside the Russell is at 737.64. So what does it set up? Okay, well, it sets up divergence number 1. You know, Dow Industrials, of course, bottom line is that you have 30 stocks. Yes, it's over it. What normally happens, folks, is that the NASDAQ is the leader. NASDAQ is not over it. Russell 2000 is not over it. You know, we'll see if, in fact, the NASDAQ can get the juice. The way the NASDAQ is trading, if we go over to the 3Qs, we take a look at the 3Qs, what you have is that the NDX 100, we did the high out there, number 1 is at 58.19. You're at 57.30. The high that we did get over today was the September 20th level, closed underneath it, had lighter volume, had all those characteristics. We put that on a weekly basis, and bottom line, on a weekly basis, what we were doing is this. We're coming into the week of the downdraft, which had 627 million, and you're doing that with 363 million. So bottom line, you get half the amount of the volume. What does that say? Can it spike it? Yes, it can spike it. You know, is it going to get over it with conviction? Well, the rest of the indices didn't. The Dow had a nice break. There's no doubt about it. When you get a price break like this in the Dow, what that means, and specifically what it means is this. Dow stocks, yeah, they can go higher. NASDAQ stocks aren't going higher. Small caps aren't going higher. Inside the SPY, if we look at the SPY, I'd say the SPY, one second, let me pull the SPY up also. Inside the SPY, bottom line, we're at 1238, and the SPY can go to 1258. So that's exactly what it means. So it depends what indice you're in. Now, let's go over to what it's all about. It's all about the U.S. dollar, folks. We go take a look at the dollar out here. Dollar today, we pulled back. We're back 74 ticks. You come back with 33,000 contracts. We're going into 34,000 contracts. You're at 76.49. It is going for that 786 contraction from the first leg up. Has it changed anything? Not yet. It hasn't changed it yet. We'll see how it hits that 786 level on the way down. If we go take a look at the bond market, what you have in bonds is this. When I say I haven't changed anything yet, the dollar still wants to go higher. When we take a look at the bond market, 30-year bond pulls back with 222,000 contracts versus going into about 500,000 contracts. Bonds are still basically going into 461,000 contracts. Bonds are basically saying that they, in fact, want to go higher. Interest rates still want to go lower. You know, so we're going to have no doubt. Well, every week's an exciting week. There's no two ways about that. What did you have out there? The Fed governors were out there today, folks, in a huge way, and they're lined up. There's no two ways about it. They were out yapping all over the place. You had a couple of them yapping, saying that, no, we had enough stimulus in it. The biggest yapper out there, and she got the most amount of press also, was Janet Yellen, saying that she thinks that a third round of stimulus of large scale, not small scale. She was speaking today, and she was speaking that she said a third round of large scale purchases might be warranted if necessary to boost the U.S. economy. You know, what is wild is that watching the Fed governors line up. You know, we've seen this before, and they're absolutely lining up on each side. They're not necessarily lining up on each side of the aisle. They are definitely lining up for and against more stimulus in the marketplace, meaning just opening that balance sheet up a lot more. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Let's go take a look at some of the high-volume stocks out here. We had Microsoft was up 12 cents. You had GE down 32. We had, let's see, JP Morgan Chase was up 29 cents. Sprint Nextel was up 6. You had Boston Scientific flat. Oracle was up 59. We had Freeport McMoran up $1.79. Let's go over and take a look at copper. You know, copper had some real juice underneath it today. HGZ1. That's after, of course, it's been getting smacked around forever. Yeah, it came off the lows with volume. You know, we'll see whether it can do something. There's 51,000 contracts today, up 20 pennies. Well, we'll see whether, you know, copper's gone straight down from that $4 level. That's a big move. Let's go to Fred in St. Pete. Hey, Fred, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, it's good talking to you again. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. You having a good day out there?
Yes, fantastic. Great weather today. Nice, cool breeze.
Yeah, the weather's moved in, no doubt, man.
I actually met you down at your recent seminar, and I just want to start out by applauding you and Steve for a fantastic job. It was a real treat to see you guys out there.
Well, we appreciate you coming, man. Thanks so much.
Hey, I have a stock I want to get out of. I have Morgan Stanley.
Okay.
Picked up in 2020. I just need to know where I can bang this out to recoup some of my loss.
Let's take a look. You get Morgan Stanley, the large Bank holding company, large, the low's 11, the high's 31, the PE 6. They pay a 1% dividend. Okay, so let's take a look. You have a high volume low, which means that at least the high of that low can get tested, which is at $14. You have a sign of strength that came in. That's pretty cool. That came in the 19th. That stands a small ABC up first. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so 1629 is your B. Wow. 1158's your A. That's $5. That's 1980. Yeah, which makes sense. Okay, so let's take a look at it. On a short-term basis, you're at 1702, and it's saying that can run right into 1980. See, when we had that high volume day on the 18th, that took out that small swing point, took it out with volume. You had volume there of 51 million versus 36. Now, let me put this on a weekly and see what's setting up. Yeah, on a weekly, it's setting up the same thing. What it is, Fred, is this. You're already into the bar from the downdraft of October 12th, okay? Mm-hmm. The bottom of that bar is 1641. The top is 1918. More than likely, what you're going to see is you're going to see a slow grind up to that area. What I would do is this. This is what I would do, flat out, okay?
Okay.
There's no reason not to put, you took a lot of heat on this. Evidently, you took heat down to $11. Is that what you did? You must have.
That was painful. That's why I'm scared.
Okay. So don't be doing that, period, okay? You're at 1702. Put a stop flat out under 1545.
Okay.
Because if this turns into a complex ABC structure or a failure of an ABC up, that high volume bar wants to get tested.
Right.
And all these banks are not in great shape. What they are now this is where this gets interesting. What they are doing, though, is that if we bring Morgan Stanley back, they are testing the lows of 2008 with dramatically lighter volume. You know, we're talking about 6 billion versus 600 million versus 1.5 billion. So on a longer basis, that's saying that, yeah, they want to go higher. But on a shorter basis, it doesn't mean that they can't test them again and again.
Correct. Yep.
And you want to look at Adobe?
Well, yeah. Should I sell Morgan Stanley if it hits 19 just to get out?
Okay. When you finish an ABC structure in the way up, right,
Yep.
it does something other than continue going up. So it will definitely do a correction. Nothing goes up forever, nothing goes down forever. You have an ABC down, then they do counter trenches most on the way up. ABC up, they do counter trenches on the way way down. You just stay right there. We'll be right back. We'll talk about it. This is Tom O'Brien. This is TFNN. We had the Dow up 267, NASDAQ up 38, S&P's up 22. We're going to be right back.
X-Story Gold Mines and